Good morning, everybody. Dr. Patmos again. It is April the 2nd, and I have a little video for you about the latest stupidity coming from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Perhaps only compared, the only person who says more dumb things than Robert Kennedy Jr. is Donald Trump. But you take the two of them together, and it's really pretty pathetic. Well, what did Kennedy say the other day that really caught my attention and should catch yours too? Well, he was in Florida, apparently at some sort of a event with Ron DeSantis, and he went off talking about how they are going to change the get junk food out of hospital food. And he mentioned specifically there's no reason why we should be giving patients Jello and rubber chicken and sugary drinks and so forth in the hospital, that people will heal better and avoid readmissions if we give them real food. I suppose by real food he means a steak, or I understand he likes Texas barbecue, so maybe he thinks that a patient who's post op with an ileus should have a pulled pork barbecue sandwich. Anyhow, this was incredibly stupid for Robert Kennedy to say this. It puts his ignorance of medicine on full display, and it should serve as a lesson to him and to anybody who thinks that they can play doctor without going to medical school. Let me give you a little wake up call. In case you don't understand the concept, it's called dietary advancement, and it has a very specific physiological reason. And if those of you out there who are surgeons can talk about this even more expertly than I can as an internist, but basically, patients are, when they're in the hospital, often, perhaps most of the time, have issues with their gut function, either because they have a surgical condition, an obstruction, a functional obstruction like an ileus, post operative intrusion into the abdomen, or resection of a portion of the GI tract, gallbladder, small bowel, large bowel, etc. Or they have a medical condition that causes an ileus, perhaps like sepsis or pancreatitis. For whatever reason, many, perhaps even most patients, or just being post op and from the after effects of anesthesia. Um, Many patients, perhaps most patients in the hospital, have a transient interruption in bowel function. And for that reason, you can't just go give them a steak or a barbecued pulled pork sandwich after an operation. There's a concept in medicine, and this goes back. This is basic surgery, concepts understanding basics of surgery. This goes back a long time, hundreds of years. You have to advance the diet in a stepwise, gradual function from nothing by mouth, which puts the bowel at rest, to gradually introducing more complicated foods. In the beginning, all you want to introduce is small amounts of volume with a little bit of electrolytes and carbohydrate to kind of get the bowel started. That's, when you're transitioning the patient, trying to move them away from IV support into oral nutritional support. You can't go walk into a post op patient or someone with an ileus or pancreatitis and give them a steak. I'm sorry, Mr. Kennedy, you are not a doctor. And what you just talked about with attacking Jello and hospitalized patients, we got to get Jello out of the hospitals, just puts your lack of medical knowledge on full display. Is absolute insanity. Every doctor in the country who manages hospital patients is laughing at you, Bobby. And DeSantis, come on, man, you're not a doctor. You two guys need to stop playing doctor and leave that up to doctors. We know how to advance the diet in postoperative patients and patients with an ileus. It's all right below in the text. Stay out of what you don't know, So just shut your mouth.